Welcome to the Mile High Real Estate Hustle Podcast with Arnoldo Arpero and Cesar Reyes. Today we are joined by Daniela Hurtado.
From Venezuela to Aupair to top producing realtor and owner of a fast-growing staging company. Daniela, thank you for being here today with us. How are you feeling today?
Thank you guys for having me. Honestly, a little bit nervous, but excited to be here, excited to be doing this for the first time. And yeah, let's do it. I'm excited.
How did that shot of tequila warm you up?
Really good. I'm flowing. So yeah.
All right, so you're ready to get this
feeling
going.
more relaxed for sure.
That's awesome. So for the people that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Daniela. I'm 36 years old. I'm from Venezuela. I've been in United States for the last 12 years, almost 13 years. I have a Peruvian husband, Renzo, and I have two boys. My two boys, Luca and Paolo. And yeah, that's me. I'm a realtor. I'm an investor. I'm an owner of a staging company. I'm Megastar Realty social media manager, and I'm a woman. So, yeah.
Yes. So, Daniela, tell us a little bit about when you first got to United States. You said you were an Aupair, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us what is that? Where were you working at? What family? And how did that go?
So that was about 12 years ago. Aupair is like a French way of saying babysitter or nanny. Okay, and then the way it works is that it's like an interchange program. Like you come here and then you take care of the kids, you live with the family, and then you also have to study and meet some credits. So I did that for 2 years with an awesome family, the Levies. I actually still keep in touch with them once in a while. And after that, I met my husband, Renzo, and then the rest is history, But I started like 12 years ago coming to take care of our kids and, helping other families. And then I just stayed.
Were you studying English at that time when you were taking care of the kids?
I was. I had to do some credit. So I will take care of the kids after school. And then in the morning, I will have to go to a school to learn English. Mm-hmm.
Was it love at first sight?
With who?
Renzo.
It was. It actually was. It's crazy, but it was. We met at a party. He was the DJ.
The DJ
of the party, and I remember telling my friends, "I like the DJ. I like him, and I want to meet him. Go tell him that I like him," because I was too shy to go and approach him. But yeah, and then the first time that I met him, he had a girlfriend. A Colombian Aupair girlfriend. Hopefully she's not listening to this. And then I love it. We couldn't talk or anything. The second time I saw him, he was single and ready to mingle. So
did you get rid of her?
I think she went back home.
Okay.
So she was not in the picture
Did you have
anymore.
to do anything to do with that?
Probably, but I think she was just going back, and then he had her life there. So I don't think I got in the middle of anything.
You sent her home. You did.
She was already home. She was already home. I feel bad for that because he told me that they broke up, but then I found out that they didn't. So it was a long story, but yeah. And
well, for those of you guys who don't know, Renzo is my friend. We've known each other for about, I think, over 20 years, and we've played sports, partied, had great times, and so I consider him a good friend. And now it's nice to know that he's in the real estate business as well, and his wife works for the company, and she's grown a lot. So really appreciate their friendship and seeing how they've grown together.
Yeah, thank you. And then actually Renzo was the one that got me into real estate because I was an au pair, and then after that I had my son Luca. He's 10 years old now, and then we didn't have anybody to help us taking care of him, and he didn't go to school, and school was very expensive. We couldn't afford it, so I was like, well, I'm going to keep babysitting, and I'm going to bring him with me. So that's what I did for about 3 years, or maybe, 3 years. I did it for 3 years. And then after that, I was like really feeling frustrated about my life because I was like, I wasn't meant to be, a babysitter. I don't like this. I want to do something else. I went to the university in Venezuela. I have a business degree in marketing. So I knew I was meant to be something else. And I always knew it since I was little that I was like, I want to be a businesswoman because I always saw my dad as a businessman. And I was like, I want to be like my dad. So Renzo told me that I could have three options. The first one would be like get into education so I can have the same schedule that has my son Luca. 8 to 3, I will have holidays off, summers off. So that was a good option. Convenient, exactly. The second was get into an airline or work in the airport, so that way we could travel for free or get all these perks that you get if you work for an airline. And the option number 3 was real estate. And I was really curious. I will see Cesar's, like he has been in that business, and I knew Cesar because of Renzo. And that's something that I was like, maybe I can see myself doing that. I do not see myself being around kids like teaching all the time because it's just not my thing. I'm more into business. So I started taking my test. I started practicing for my test. I took this online course that took me about 6 months that I will take only in the evenings and weekends when my kid was asleep or when Renzo could help me watch him. And then I took my test. I passed it on my first try.
First try, guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kind of big deal.
Yep.
And then I saw Cesar on a party, and I think it was a birthday party of one of your...
Yeah, it was like a family birthday party. I think it was there was a soccer field, and she was sitting down, and she's like, hey, I want to talk to you. And I was like, sure, and she was like, I just passed my test. I was like, oh, yeah, awesome, great, congratulations, but I didn't really think much of it. I think at that point, Megastar Realty was only like 3 or 4 agents, and she said, I want to work for you. I want to come work for your company. I was like, you want to come work for me? I felt like, honored because, I never had heard anybody really say, hey, I want to come work for you. So I was like, sure, yeah, just let me know, we can make it happen, and you can come into the office, and I'll start training you. And but I honestly, I was super surprised that she wanted to come work at Megastar Realty. I'm talking, what was this, 2017 or 2018? 2018, yeah. So I was surprised more than anything and honored too, and I was happy. But at the same time, I was like, okay, sure, what not. And she came to the office, and immediately I realized something. And as when you're training people and you're teaching, you can tell when someone is paying attention. You can tell when someone like captures things quickly. And with Daniela, I felt that immediately from the first time I started training her. I mean, she was asking very, very good questions. She was paying attention, and then she would, get the things that I was telling her about. And there's been about maybe 4 or 5 agents that I've trained that I got that feeling, because, like a teacher or coach in sports, you can tell which athletes, which students are the ones that really stand out. And for me, when I was training her, I could just tell that she really stood out, and what she was capturing, and the questions she was asking. And I knew deep down that sooner or later, it would take some time, but that sooner or later she was going to be successful in this business, and that she would get it, and that she would find her own way on where she wants to go, and find the way, where she wants to be at. And ultimately, she expanded from it as well. So
I remember you telling me when you were training me, you're going to be a rock star. And I was like, that I won't forget, because you kind of believed in me since the beginning. And I really appreciate that. And then everything I've learned from you. And then, I've seen you growing too. I've grown, but I've seen you growing too. And I think that's really nice.
Well, and the nice thing is we've grown together. She's been a huge part of that as well. But how I started with her is I started giving her a few leads that I had, because at that point already, by 2018, I wasn't the best buyer's agent in the world, and I didn't like driving people around. And so whenever I have a buyer, I'll be like, hey, Daniela, you want a buyer? And she's like, oh yeah, let's go for it, let's do it. And so she started learning quickly, and really quick I understood that, and I realized that I could trust her with my buyers, because she would take it from the start to the finish line, and she would only call me when she had questions. And I love that, because it wasn't like, I was getting calls every single minute. It was nice, that I knew that I could trust her with the clients. She could get it done. And then sometimes what I also liked too is that she would do some research before calling me sometimes, so that way, you know, when she was calling me, it was like, okay, she needs an answer now. But I think it allowed me to focus on some other things that I wanted to focus on, and I could continue to have a nice stream of buyers. And I think that was the best training. I think it was the best training for her, because it gave her live clients, and she was able to get some experience. And then from, you know, after a couple of years, I think she was able to like just take off, and that was really nice to see.
Yeah.
And she owned it. She owned the relationship. She just pretty much took it in. But I got to ask you, was he your first choice, or did you shop it around?
He was my first choice. I didn't shop around at all. And I just wanted to have that friendly person, like a person that I could like kind of like trust, and I wouldn't be afraid of making mistakes.
Caesar's friendly?
He is friendly.
I'm friendly.
He is friendly.
I'm serious, you know, at the beginning, but you know, once you get to know me, I'm a
and
little
Renzo told me like, you should go work with him. He's my friend. He's nice, and you know, and he speaks Spanish. So to me, in the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm a little bit nervous. I just I want somebody to train me in Spanish, and then you know we can go from there. And it just worked out since day one.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out from the beginning, and then I think after a few years, also we were able to grow the company. You know, I had my social media page for myself and for the business, and you know, after a couple of years, we talked about having her help me out with my social media, and I think, you know, she ultimately became the social media manager for Megastar Realty, and it's taken a lot of, you know, weight off my plate. And it's helped me out a lot, and I really like what she's doing, and it's helped us grow. I have friends and family members who tell me, you know, hey, you know, your social media page is really nice, it's growing, and we like the content that you're putting out there. And so, you know, that's, you know, Daniela's been doing all that, and so I really appreciate that, and it's helped us grow. You know, like we had our podcast a couple of weeks ago, and, you know, I talked to you about how, you know, I haven't recruited anybody. I've never really recruited anybody, and all of it has been pretty much organic. People have been seeing what we do, you know, how we run the company, and, you know, the type of business that we do. And so that's pretty much how we've grown. Yeah.
So what kind of skills do you feel like you learned as becoming the marketing manager for Megastar Realty?
I think like I like going with the trends. I spend a lot of time on social media. I like that. I mean, I like scrolling, but I like scrolling content that I can learn something. You know, I like, oh, this other realtor or this other company is doing this, and I want to do this. You know, I just want to like improve. So that's something that me and Renzo joke that we see a lot of social media about, because we want to learn, and we're like listening to news. So, you know, it is sometimes can be a little bit of a waste of time, but you can get good things from it too. What was the question again?
What kind of skills do you feel like you learned from like when you first started as opposed to like now?
Okay. The skills, like being more out there, like trying to bring more value. I think in the real estate, especially in your marketing, you have to show yourself as this authentic person, you know? There's a lot of real estates out there, and then people has to like you because of who you are. So I think that's something that I did learn, like in all this time, we have to show like who we are, but we got to make it nice, you know? So I really like that. And then I'm really proud of, you know, we're Latinos, but, you know, we can do so many things. And then just being authentic, I think that's something that I've learned in this journey.
I think also the nice thing too is that when I first met you, or when you first got into real estate, I think you were really like shy, scared, a little laid back about things. You didn't want to be out there, and I always told you like, you got to put yourself out there. I mean, and
I still am.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, and I see that. We saw that today. That's why we need a few shots. But what I've seen is that you've actually grown, and now you're putting yourself out there. You know, and it's like you can't think about what other people are going to say, what your friends, you know, and I think we all go through that. And I've seen that growth in you, that now you know that you can actually do it. You have the proof, and you're just going for it.
Yeah, and I just like, I think I care that I'm showing myself the way I am, not just, you know, and if you like me, you come to me, and if you don't like me, that's fine. You know, like I respect that too. So
what part of the real estate business do you really enjoy? Do you like right now? Like what's your niche? Like what do you think you're liking the most?
Yeah, I like listings. Yeah, I really like listings, helping sellers, showing them my marketing skills. I think, I really enjoy that. I mean, marketing is something that I went to I went to university. I have a degree in marketing, and I don't know. It just to me is really fun, and I think if you work doing something that you think it's fun, it's just not work. That's kind of like the way I see it. So yeah, I really like working with sellers. I also work with buyers. But I think listings are my specialty.
Look, she listened to me because, I love listings. And that's all
Yeah.
I pretty much want to do
But I
is
learned
listings.
from you. You were
Yeah.
like, yeah, listings. And yeah, that's kind of like my focus too.
Yeah, I think you can spread your time better when you're focusing on marketing to listings, whereas with buyers, it's a lot of work. It's a lot more work. And I mean, I believe that I can handle anywhere from 10 to 15 listings a month by myself. I will definitely not be able to handle 10, 15 buyers a month by
Yeah.
myself. I can only handle about one buyer a month, maybe,
Yeah.
if that.
It's time consuming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's time consuming. So what part of real estate do you not like? Like, what's one of the things that you don't like?
One of the things that I don't like, sometimes we have hard transactions, and that can be stressful. I mean, sometimes and lately I've been a little bit stressed out with my own fix and flip. We're in the process of selling it, and it's been a little bit stressful because I am the seller and I'm also the listing agent, and being on the seller's shoes, I now I'm like, okay, I understand. Like now I see you, I see how you feel, and I see, all those hiccups that you can have in a transaction that sometimes you just cannot control. But yeah, I mean, those little hard transactions sometimes that I just feel like they make me feel sad sometimes,
Yeah.
or I have
They consume-
cried, like it's just, I can get emotional,
Yeah.
but it can be like a roller coaster sometimes. Like I can be like, oh my God, I'm so happy I have this going on, but then the next day it's like, oh my God, like I don't have anything going on. I don't feel great. I feel a little sad. And then, I mean, I think that side of the real estate is one thing that I don't love, that it's not a constant, happiness. It just like comes up and down, and you have to try to keep it up. You have to try to stand up and then be consistent and show up every day. So
Yeah, sometimes it can
Yeah.
consume your energy.
exactly.
So
yeah, and
but-
if you have a family, you have so many things going on. It's a lot sometimes, but yeah.
So now you're actually an investor as well, correct?
Yes. So me and my husband Renzo, we just did our first fix and flip that we're actually selling. We have done before. We bought properties that we fixed, but then we move into them. This time we're selling them. We're selling this one, and it's going smoothly now. No complaints, and it's been fun. I really enjoyed it, and we like picking up, all the things that are gonna go in the kitchen and the tile and all of those things. But it definitely has it can be a headache too. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of money. I mean, we're at the point where we keep paying things, paying, and there's no money coming in, and that can be, we're learning, and we're in this process, and right now we're learning that maybe we need to make better decisions in the beginning, than having to get things a little bit longer. I don't know.
Do you guys enjoy picking things out together, or is it mostly you picking things out? How's that go?
Oh my God! If he was here, we'd be like, I pick everything. No, we pick things together. He actually Renzo enjoys picking things, and he has a good taste. We kind of share the same.
Passion?
The same passion. We like the same things. So, I mean, I would say we do it together. And sometimes I do have to tell him, hey, not this, or this I like better, because I see more houses.
Yeah.
I go showings, and then sometimes I just go tour in a house that it's really nice. And that way you can get ideas of what's trending and, or maybe what's, outdated.
So you're a realtor now. New investor, correct? And the third thing is you're also own a staging company with your husband. So tell us how that started, how that idea came about, and what's going on with your staging company.
Yeah, so I think the way it started is because I had a listing that needed, the clients wanted to have it staged. So I started looking at like quotes. Okay, I started talking to people. I wanted this quote. I wanted this quote, and then I was like, oh my god, like it can be a little bit expensive. So I started like seeing these classes about staging because I was like, oh, I actually kind of like it. And then when you go tour a house that is vacant, and then when you go tour a house that is staged, it makes a huge difference. And I enjoy seeing how people decorate a place. So I told Renzo, it's like, well, I need to do this staging. And then I remember contacting you so your mom could do a staging for my listing. Mm-hmm. And then you were like, well, at the end, I mean, I ended up just doing a virtual staging for that property. But then I was like, I think we should do this. And then, just having that side gig, like that extra income, if things are not doing great on the real estate side, at least we can have this side hustle that, it's going to feed us. So we started that. We started buying furniture. Our good friend Jimmy, he was our first client, and then the feedback was great. And then we just started working with Megastar Realties, fix and flippers and listing agents. And then, it just took off. I mean, we're working with a lot of investors and heavy listing agents, and then it's fun. It's really fun.
How many staging projects have you done since you guys opened last year?
I will say over 50.
Nice.
Over 50. Yeah.
That's a lot.
I mean, some big ones, some smaller ones, but over 50. And
so how does when you're staging a house, is Renzo carrying all the furniture, or do you guys have helpers? Or
we have a helper.
Okay.
Yeah, we have helpers. Kevin and Brian that actually work with us at Megastar. They're a crew. I mean, we love working with them. They're awesome. And then, we kind of like, me and Renzo, we kind of like do more we put this there. Like we manage it. We say like where things go, we're the designers. We call ourselves the designers. So I mean, we need to have help. It's like the beginning we only had one guy, and it was so hard. Like we're still tired after a staging, but like lifting furniture and then all that work it's hard on your back.
How long is it taking for you to stage a home? A couple hours? Do you have all your furniture at a warehouse, or how do you handle all that?
We have a storage.
A storage?
Big storage. We bought a huge shed that we put in our house. In our garage. So it is full. And even like inside our house, there's furniture that we're putting together right now because we have 2 big stagings next week. So it's just furniture everywhere, but we like it. Renzo puts it together.
So what I like about that is she has a side hustle from her real estate business that she created. And that's the beauty about real estate. It's not just the sales. I mean, you can become an investor, a flipper, and then she's doing that as well. And then at the same time, and she's also got her staging business that goes with her real estate business. So like if she has a client that she's listing and they need a staging company, she can probably stage it herself and maybe offer the client a discount. Plus, there's a lot of agents here at Megastar Realty who are investors as well, and they're flipping as well. So that gives her a huge opportunity to stage some of the properties that some of the other agents are flipping. So I mean, it just shows the beauty of real estate and how it's just so big, and there's just different avenues that you can take advantage of through the real estate business. So I'm very, very impressed with all that. Another thing too that that I want to talk to Daniela about is last year. I remember I'm a numbers guy. I like looking at our volume, how many closings we've had, average per sale, average per commission, things like that. And last year, like come May, I don't think she was even in the top 20. She was not even in the top 20 in our brokerage. And then all of a sudden, she just took this huge jump. And then every month typically I'm probably the one selling the most every month here at this brokerage, just because I've been in the business a while and have a lot of clients, a lot of investors that I work with. And so, but there was a few months last year where she crushed me. She crushed everybody else. And it was just, what I liked about that is, she didn't get down. I'm sure that she was putting in the work, but she wasn't seeing the results that she wanted. And sometimes that happens in business where, you're doing all this work and you're not getting the results that you wanted, But sooner or later, you keep putting in that work. You keep doing the things that you know are going to eventually turn out to work out for you. And I think that's what she did. And she had some monster months. And she ended up the number one agent here at Megastar Realty last year. I'm sorry, Arnoldo.
I'm still a little salty.
You're still a little salty?
Can you take some vacation time, please?
I'm going to Peru. But something that I wanted to add to that, Cesar, was that in April last year, we got ourselves an au pair.
Okay.
That is living with us, and the fact of me having that help taking care of my kids and managing my house helped me grow in my real estate business. So being a mom and being a realtor and doing all of this I couldn't do it without help.
Yeah.
So that's something really important that every woman out there needs help, especially when they have kids.
Talk about going full circle. Did that feel a little nostalgic?
It did. And I understand it, and we love her. She's actually leaving us in a month, and we don't know what we're going to do after that. But
Did a DJ break her heart?
no, not really. Just another guy. Yeah. Of course. But yeah, no, having that help, and it makes a lot of difference. And this is not an easy business. You gotta put the work, and you gotta show up, and you gotta do all of these things. But when you're a mom and you have kids, it's hard. And having that help definitely, that's one of the reasons that I was able to grow. And obviously all the work, but having help.
It freed up a lot of your time so that you can focus on generating business and closing transactions, showing houses, and doing your staging company, because I don't think you'd probably be at the stage you were without having that
without
help
having that extra help staging. No, I don't think it would have been possible. Yeah.
So, which brings us to our next question. How is your time management? Because doing all of these different jobs, all of these different emotions, how do you manage your time? Obviously, the au pair is helping, so the delegation's helping. But give us more. We want to know what you're doing for your time management.
I'm actually not really good at that. I want to get better, and that's something that I'm constantly trying to get better into. But I get distracted easily, and in the mom business and the real estate business, sometimes you gotta go with the flow. Like in the mornings, like my routines are like I wake up, get my oldest son ready to go to school, get lunch ready because I have to cook, and like I cook in the mornings, and then at 8:30, okay, I'm ready to go take a shower and get ready to go. But I just try to do like family first thing, then if I can work prospecting as much as I can, and then do like admin work or other things that I need to do. And then after that, it's family time again. So
What's your number one thing that you like as far as prospecting or lead generating? What do you like to do?
I like social media. I like doing marketing. I like doing marketing. I like checking out other people, seeing what other things are working, and then kind of like implementing them. Yeah.
Nice. That's one of the things that I've seen, that some of the agents who are been focusing more on social media in our brokerage the last couple of years, those are the ones that have grown the most and have catapulted to over some of the other agents. So I think social media plays a huge role in what you can accomplish, and I definitely see that in your social media pages as well. So I know that that's working for you.
Yeah, and it's not only social media. I have my website, and I do mail outs, and I do like a lot of things, calls. I do text. So a little bit of everything. Just try to keep growing.
Where do you see your social media going in 2024? Where do you see your real estate business going in 2024? What do you want to accomplish?
It's hard because last year I was, like you said, I did really good. But then I also felt that it took a lot of my personal time, a lot of my family time. And then that's something that, I do want to keep growing, but at the same time, I also want to grow as a person. I want to grow as a mom. I want to become a better mom. And I also want to get healthier. And, like there's so many things that you want to do. But I feel like maybe this year what I'm trying to do is kind of like leverage, having people like, okay, I have a person that's going to help me with a little bit of social media. I'm going to have a person that is going to help me edit videos, and then I'm going to have a person that is help me send my mailers. Like try to like get those responsibilities out of my shoulders, still do them because I don't want to stop doing them, but also have some time to have with my family and do the things that I enjoy doing.
And that's what's called leverage. And now what's going on with you and your business is that you're, getting to that next level, because the first level is obviously getting your business going, closing some transactions, you kind of doing everything. You're the social media, you're the showing the houses, you're taking the listings, you're writing, all your broker remarks, you're doing your flyers, your open houses. But now you're getting to a stage where you're going up to the next level, and now you actually need help, and you have to pay out a little bit, so people can actually give you back your time, so you can have back your time to focus on the things that are money producing things to do. And I think that's where you're at right now, where you now it's more about managing, seeing who works out good for you or not for certain things, and you're definitely taking that next step where you actually need help, but because you want to free up your time, you cannot continue to do everything yourself.
Exactly. No, it's hard. Doing everything just you, it's hard, especially if you have a family, for sure.
Yes. Super, super rowdy. So let's see. This is a kind of like a fun question that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
What is one thing that you were interested as a kid and now that you might think might be fun to explore now?
Interested as a kid.
Or high school, but something that you were just interested in, but you never pursued it. But now that you feel like you may be able to pull back a little bit with some delegation,
Okay.
that you might be able to pursue now.
I would like to get into sport. That's something that I'm like, okay, I used to play tennis when I was, my dad played tennis and my family played tennis. So my dad made me play tennis, and I was actually not bad at it. So I would like to do that, like for my health and also to do it for fun. So that's something that I've been thinking about, maybe in the spring, getting a few tennis lessons. And then there's also in my community pool in my neighborhood, they're opening a pickleball courts. So I'm just really excited to get into into something like more like sports and just being out there, being outside. Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great for lead generation. You're going to get into luxury listings.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I want to socialize with people without being salesy, like people know that I'm a realtor, but I'm I'm not one of those persons that I'm going to be reminding you all the time. I don't like that. And I'm actually getting neighbors asking me questions about real estate, hey, can we go see this house? Even just not to really buy it, but at least they know that I'm in the business. And then if whatever they need, if they have a question or they are just curious about a house, they can call me. So I think I'm starting to open those doors for sure.
What would you tell your younger self, knowing what you know right now, what you've experienced? What would you tell your younger self, someone 10, 15, where you were 10, 15 years ago?
Save money. Don't overspend on stupid things that, before, when I was an au pair, I will get my paycheck and I will go shopping right away, shopping for clothes or going to eat out and, doing all of that. That's something that I wish I would have been different. I think maybe I will be in a better financial position because now the money that I have, I just want to invest it. I do spend. I'm not saying that I don't go shopping anymore, but I want to invest it. I want to keep growing that money and not just spending it. So I think maybe be more cautious about how I manage my money.
Another question that I have for you, tell me something about when you were young, what motivated you? What drove you? Were you really studious? Something that you see that when you were young that kind of it shows in you right now?
Yeah. So, I wasn't the best kid in class. I wasn't the worst. When I put in the work, I will do really good. I was just always trying to talking and getting in trouble or, just having fun. But I always saw myself as I was gonna go and live somewhere else. I always knew that I wasn't going to have my life back in Venezuela. I don't know why, but I always knew. And then I was also always wanted to. I mean, I remember being a kid and then going with my dad to the bank and getting the deposit slips and then writing it down and then making books like if I was an accountant or if I was a tattler or something like that. I was like, I want to be like in
So you
business.
like that?
I love it. I loved it so much, and I love making calculations. Like I don't know, like just doing like being in a business setup. I really, really like that, and that's something that I knew I was gonna be in that, and I can feel it, and I was like, well, that feeling that I had 30 years ago, now
you have it.
It's real, yeah.
Because
it's
now
nice.
you're depositing the checks that are coming in from your real estate transactions or your
and sometimes
staging.
it feels like is this real? Like wow, I'm proud of me. Like
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
It's empowering,
It is.
Just knowing that you're the one depositing the checks for your business, and also you're the one writing the checks for your company. And I think just that feeling that you're a business owner, that's huge.
Yeah.
I think it's really really
It is.
important.
It
so
is big.
that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I was an employee back home. I had a few jobs, and no, nothing compared to being business owner.
So you don't think you'll ever go work for like
Never.
No.
No, not at all. No. Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I really like that. It just shows, how you can come from a different country, get settled in, kind of find a business that you like, and then go all in that business, and then also take advantage of any other businesses that can come around from that business that you went into. And so she's really proof of what can be done. What her and her husband have been able to accomplish is really impressive, and I think it's inspiring for a lot of people. So I really like how far they've come along, and I think their future is great. They're going to keep growing and keep selling a lot of real estate, keep staging a lot of properties, and who knows, maybe there'll be something else that falls in line too, that comes in with what they're already doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see your social media going on forward with the rest of the year. And we all have limiting beliefs in our end, but you already knew what you had to do. But this last year, you've been killing. The beginning of this year, you've been crushing it. So I'm super excited what's to come in your future.
Thank you. I'm excited about your future too.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you. Hopefully I beat you this year.
I'm a little stressed out. I've seen like so many people doing so many things, and I mean, which is awesome, but that it feels a little bit like
Fires you up, right?
It's competitive, yeah. Well, sometimes I don't know. It doesn't fire me up. It's like like I'm feeling small, like But I mean, I'm happy. Everybody that works in this company, and we have so many new people that sometimes like I don't even remember their names, but I like seeing people around me grow because it helps me like, okay, I want to grow with them. And then sometimes, I do feel like, like they're doing so good, but it's a good thing,
I think it's good competition in a sense, like and good collaboration as well. I don't just say it's competition. I think, we also collaborated with a lot of the agents inside the office. Some of our off-market deals we've been able to keep in-house. Even some of I know a few of your listings or whatnot that you've sold to a few of the agents that had their buyers in-house too. Mm-hmm. So I think it's been a win-win for our company, where we've added a lot more agents that are producing well, and it just gives a good energy, good vibe. Today, I went and shook a hand of one of the newer agents in the office, and I don't mean to offend anybody here, but I always consider myself to be the hardest working one here in the company. It's just me personally, right? And I actually told this guy, I was like, "Hey, man, I think you're working probably a little bit harder than I am, man." And so that's pushing me to step up my game a little bit, and so, but I think it's good. It's good to have that, where you have other agents that are producing and you see them working, and then, that just inspires you and motivates you to continue doing what you're doing or even more or change things up too. So, I mean, because in this business, you can't just be set on your ways and expect that that's the only way it's going to work. Things are ever changing, and you have to adapt to some of the changes that are going on in the market. And so I'm always willing to change things up and adapt. But I see how our office has grown, and I also appreciate, what you've done for our company, because we wouldn't be Megastar Realty right now without the help from Daniela, from some of the insights that she's given me, some of the recommendations that she's given me, and at the same time, by managing our social media page, because I basically can't do it. You know, I have a hard time managing my own little social media page, and I'll throw like I'm so sporadic. Like I'll throw stuff for like, you know, one day I'll throw 5-6 things and then I'll disappear for like a week. You know, so I'm not really consistent. So I think it allows me to kind of just focus on what I'm doing. And
How
have
many
some-
agents?
So
when I joined.
you know, so I did the office roster the other day, and then I forgot to add like 3 people. So it just man. So there's like I think 45 to 46 agents right now, and just to think that we started at like 3-4 agents a couple
When
years
I started, we were like 5.
Yeah,
or
4 or 5. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5. So, and we've grown, and that's without. I've never made a recruiting call. You know, hey, come join Megastar Realty. I don't, you know, send mail out. I don't have VAs or anything like that. It's just been all organic. So, I think that's been nice, and just really excited to see where we're going. But also excited to see where you're going and what holds next for you. So, are you going to continue flipping? You're going to continue to
Yes,
staging?
we want to. Yes, we want to continue doing everything as much as we can, and definitely this staging is kind of like, okay, we focus on the real estate. Renzo is a loan officer. We do the investor, and then we do a couple days a week the stagings. But still, we're like super busy, and then clients come to us. We're not looking for clients. It's like it's just organic or recommendation, or you know, just people that we know or that are in the business that know us. Mm-hmm.
Would you say that you're in one of the best businesses out there? Like you really like what you're doing?
Yes, I really do. I really like it, and I'm so grateful like that I found my passion, and that, you know, like I see so many people that are unhappy out there working without motivation, or okay, I don't love it. It's just like surviving to me, and I love that. I like what I do. I like, you know, being in the listing side or the buyer side and just helping people, and then also being able to have that flexible schedule that it cannot be that flexible sometimes, so I can be with my kids, and then, you know, sometimes I have to take my kids to showing with me. Sometimes I have to take my kids to, you know, pictures or, you know, other stuff with me, and that's okay. I like having that freedom of doing the things the way that work for me, and then real estate has done that for sure.
What would you say to someone out there who is thinking about getting their real estate license? What would be your advice to them?
I actually had somebody, my sister's friend, somebody that has been in the business in Colombia for over 20 years. And it's like, well, Daniela, I don't know what to do. Like, should I get the real estate license or should I do the inspector license? I was like, do the real estate. Do the real estate. I mean, there's so many ways that you can, you know, grow your wealth, like working with people or just being an investor or just working with rentals, whatever you want to do. There's many ways for you to grow. And then if he has that experience, even better. So I do think that this is there's a lot of new agents coming in. So that's something that, but if you do want to be in the business, if you work hard and you put the work and then you stay consistent, then, you know, this is a great business to be in, and you have a bright future, most likely.
Do you have anything else that you want to talk
Final
about?
thoughts?
Final thoughts?
Or something you want to share with the audience?
No, ask me questions.
So she's the number one resource. If you have any questions, call her.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Where people can find me on social media, Daniela Hurtado Realtor. I also have a website, danielahurtadorealtor.com. They can call me, text me, anything. I'm always available. It's crazy in this business. You gotta answer calls anytime, like or respond to texts at 5 or at 11 or at 12. But you know, I'm one of those that I get back to you right away.
Well, if you want to challenge Daniela at a tennis game, please give me a call. I will set it up and I will record it.
I need to train first. Or
pickleball.
Or pickleball.
I'm so excited about pickleball, and then they're probably gonna do a pickleball league, and I know Renzo. He's good
I can see him playing that.
Yeah, so I know that I'm probably not gonna lose because he's really good. So I'm like, but I want him to be my partner. I don't want to play against him because we play against each other, and we end up mad. But if he's my partner, yes.
And that's why nobody likes the tile work after he beats you.
We'll have to do a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pickleball challenge.
Yeah. No, but you are good and Angie's good too. So
I'm competitive too. I don't
Yeah.
like losing.
No, yeah. They are good. So yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today. We're so happy to have you here.
Okay.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you for everything that you've done for the company, for yourself, for your family, and I think you're a great inspiration to a lot of people. And keep shining, and I want to keep watching you do that.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate
Thank you.
Well, goodbye, everyone. And like usual, follow us on the next episode on the Mile High Real Estate Hustle podcast. See you soon.
See you soon.